Welcome, friends, to Adam's Farmhouse Kitchen. And today on our show, we're going to be making a dish that my grandma Rose used to make all the time: Granny's stuffed pickled peppers. And these are going to be stuffed with cabbage and celery seed. And then we're going to put them in a pickling brine. And they take about 5 to 7 days, and once they're refrigerated, to be ready. These actually were something she served quite often, especially in the fall. So stay tuned. For over 145 years, the heart of my family's farmhouse has been the kitchen. It's where stories, food, and traditions have been passed down through generations. Join me as we create new memories, one dish at a time. Welcome to Adam's Farmhouse Kitchen. All right, well, we're going to get started with Granny's pickled peppers. And so first of all, we're going to start off with the brine. We need to get the brine ready and have it off to the side, and then we'll prep our peppers, our bell peppers, and our cabbage. So to start off, I have 8 cups of apple cider vinegar and 8 cups of granulated sugar and 4 cups of water. And so this is going to be the base for our pickling brine. And you can use this to pickle other things as well. So we're going to start off and we're going to add this to a large pot. And we want to make sure, and all of our sugar has went to the bottom, so we would need to make sure and get all of that sugar out of here. Okay, so we've got our granulated sugar in our pot here, and this of course will dissolve up really nicely. And then what we've got, I have a sachet put together, and this is actually cheesecloth. And I filled it with 1 large bottle of pickling spices. Now, some people like to put the pickling spices in, but I really don't like to have all of them floating all over everything. So I put them in a piece of cheesecloth. You're still going to get the flavor when it comes to a boil. And then when it's time, you can just pick this out of there and dispose of it. So we're going to put our sachet with our pickling spices into the pot. And we're going to give that another quick stir. And I'm going to put this on the stove and bring it to a boil. And then I'm going to leave it set aside, and then we're going to start getting the stuffed peppers ready. Hello, friends. I'm here to tell you some exciting news. Adam's Farmhouse Cookbook is now out in a new hardbound format, and it comes with a beautiful matching dust jacket. And these are printed through BookBaby. So, click on the link in the description if you're interested in purchasing one of my beautiful books. These are great for gifts any time of the year. So, make sure and follow us on our Facebook page and watch us on our YouTube channel, Adam's Farmhouse Kitchen. And don't forget, like and subscribe. All right, now we're going to get started with our pickled peppers. And what we're going to start off, we've got 4 large bell peppers, and these are really nice ones. And what we're going to do is we're going to, first of all, we're going to cut the tops off of these, and we want to save the tops because there's going to be a little cap that goes on top of the pepper once we stuff it. So we're going to cut the tops off just like that. We'll get all of these ready to go once. And I can still remember Granny making these. These were served usually as an accompaniment on the side for dinner. I like to eat them just with some crackers as a snack even. So we're going to take all of the inside out, get all of the seeds, and get those cleaned out really nice, just like that. And we're going to save the caps to put on as well. So... All right, so now we're going to set these off to the side, and we're going to get our cabbage ready now. All right, now we're going to start prepping our cabbage for our stuffed pickled peppers. So I've got sort of a medium-sized cabbage here, and we probably won't use the whole thing, but we're going to go ahead and start chopping this in sort of a chiffonade manner, which is the long pieces, sort of like an old-fashioned coleslaw slice. If you have a crock cutter, you can cut your cabbage on that as well, but we're just going to use a knife. So I'm going to cut the base off like that, and then I'm going to cut the cabbage in half. And we'll start off with this one, and then we're going to cut out the cabbage hearts. We're going to save the cabbage heart for a snack later. Granny, we always used to argue who was going to get the cabbage heart. And they're really, really good snack. You can cut them out there and put some salt on them. And they're really good. So we're going to go ahead with our cabbage. I'm going to cut this in half again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just cut it in really thin pieces like this. And when it goes in the pickling brine, it's going to actually stay in your peppers a lot easier than if it was chopped up in a coarse manner. We're going to put that into our bowl here. We want to sort of break it apart like that. You can kind of break it apart a little bit if you want to with your hands, because we're going to be stuffing it down inside of the peppers here, sort of like that. All right, so that should be more than enough for 4 peppers. Just kind of breaking it apart a little bit, because we want to be able to easily get it down into our peppers when it comes time to stuff those. So put the rest of this in here. And then I've got a small container of celery seed, and I'm going to go ahead and just dump that right on top of my sliced cabbage. And we'll just kind of mix it around there with our fingers a little bit, and it'll stick to the cabbage. That's what you want. You can just kind of do it like that and break it up a little bit more if you need to, because we want to be able to get it stuffed down in our peppers really easily. All right, so we'll be back in a second, and then we're going to get those peppers stuffed. All right, we're back now, and we're going to go ahead and get our peppers stuffed. So we've got them all cleaned out, and we've saved the little caps, and we're going to use toothpicks to keep those held on there. So we're going to just take our cabbage like so, and get a bunch of it like that, and we're going to stuff as much as we can inside of our peppers, just like that. And then what we're going to do, we'll do that first, and then we'll come back and put the lids on. All right, now we're going to put the lids on. So you take it like so, and it's okay if there's some cabbage that sticks out, and you're going to take it, you're going to just run it down through the side so it holds the lid on, because when you put the brine over it, you don't want that to, you don't want all your cabbage floating out of your peppers. So we'll do this one here next. Now, when Granny used to make these, she would put them in a small stone crock, and it was usually colder weather, and she always would keep them out in the building, and that's where we kept everything here at the farm. Pickled stuff was kept out in the building, where it was cold. They sort of kept the traditions alive and did things like their grandparents and parents did, and how they grew up during the Great Depression. There's that. And we've got one more to go here. All right. So we'll be back here in just a second, and then we're going to get the brine on these, and we'll let them cool, and then we'll get them in the refrigerator and go from there. All right, folks. Well, we're back now, and we have our pickling brine all finished. And so I've got our peppers. I put those right here in this little plastic container, and they fit in there just perfectly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a china plate, and I'm going to put this over the top to help hold them down. So when I put the brine on, it's not going to, they're going to want to float. So this is going to help to hold them down in there. And I'm going to grab a ladle here. And what we're going to do is we're going to ladle this brine over here. And so we'll put that in there. We might not use it all, but we'll see how much we are going to need here. And this brine is going to help sort of cook the peppers a little bit. They will lose their green color, and they will shrink up a little bit. But that's the vinegar working on them. So just about got enough, and I think I can probably pour the rest of this right over the top, just a little bit. And so you want to just make sure that they're covered well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to let those cool down a little bit. And then we will put the lid on them and refrigerate them for about 5 to 7 days. And then you'll have your pickled peppers.